Welcome to Deck Analysis and Testing, and today we look at, well, yeah. You know what? Let's just talk about the deck. We'll start with the skill, Dragonic Contact, another broken hero skill. Instead of letting you normal summon Neos or, Duel, it just cheats it out from your deck. You can send a warrior or a level 10 monster from your hand or field to the graveyard, and then just play a copy of Neos or Armed Dragon monster or Rainbow Dragon. And then, yeah, you get to add both Super Poly and the regular Poly to your hand. The Super Poly comes from your deck, and the regular Poly comes from Thin Air. Yeah, real fun. And it's once per turn as well. You get to use this every turn. You can only get the Super Poly once per duel because there's only one Super Poly available, but you get to get infinite Polys. That's fun. And that is why we are playing 3 copies of Neos and 3 copies of Summoner's Art to search it. We're playing 2 Clayman, and this might be weird, but for this free-to-play version, I'm playing Grand Merge, and Grand Merge needs 2 hero normal monsters, and Sunrise needs 2 hero monsters with different attributes. So that's why we're playing Clayman as a normal elemental hero that is also a different attribute than Light. For the other monsters, we have 1 copy of Dragon level 10. The other good one is from a different box, so we're not using that. This one is still pretty good. It's good going second. You can discard a card and blow up everything. It's not once per turn, so you can just keep doing it. We're having a copy of Rainbow Dragon because this skill only works if you have Rainbow Dragon in your deck. That is what it says. I would like to cut this. I mean, it will be good after Rainbow Neos gets released in the structure deck, but for now it's just a brick. Kinda. It's not really a brick. If you draw it, you could just discard it, but it does nothing basically. Even though it does nothing, it's still a big guy. It's a big guy with 4K attack, and if your opponent doesn't have any monsters, you can just make this guy and go for lethal directly. I guess that's cool. For the spells, we're playing 3 copies of Wrath of Neos. This card is also pretty good back in the free-to-play Ubel Neos build. You can just bounce back a Neos to the deck and then blow up everything. And this forces out your opponent's interruption, right? And then you can just chain Super Poly so that you can still keep everything on the field, but use the Super Poly to fuse away your opponent's monsters and force out interruption. Yeah, speaking of Super Poly, we have 1 Super Poly. 1 Merco Fusion, which is searchable with Sunrise. For the traps, we're playing 3 copies of Cursed Seal of the Forbidden Spell. This card is not very good, but it's funny. That's why we're playing it. Because you get a copy of Poly every time you use the skill, you can just have spells for this to discard. If you go first and grab a Poly, you can just discard it with this counter trap, then just negate a spell, and your opponent is not allowed to use the spell for the rest of the game, which is pretty funny. If they're playing Neos as well, if you're playing in the mirror match, just can negate Poly or Super Poly. It's very funny. Also, we're playing 2 copies of Amaze Attraction Field Train. It could be anything. It could be any back row. It could be even more heroes. For the extra deck, we're just playing 1 copy of each Omni hero. 1 Shining, 1 Great Tornado, 1 Nova Master, 1 Gaia, one the Dark one. All of them are available from box trips. Some of them are available from the structure deck. So the old hero structure deck. So it's pretty easy to get. Grand Merge is completely free to obtain. You need 2 hero monsters to fusion summon this card. It gains attack and defense equal to the combined original levels of the materials times 300. You can use 2 Neos to make it, and it will become 4200 attack, I think. It's pretty big, and can win the game on its own. And even if you can't go directly to lethal by attacking directly, you can still attack over opponent's monster and then use the second effect to tribute itself, and then bring out this guy for free. Shining Flare Wingman is a big guy, and can be cheated out using Grand Merge. If this card destroys something by battle, it can inflict effect damage equal to the attack of the destroyed monster. And of course, we have a copy of Sunrise. This is pretty much the only expensive card in this deck. You need 2 hero monsters with different attributes to make this card. When it's fusion summoned, you get to add a Miracle Fusion, and also if you attack with another hero monster, you get to destroy a card on the field. Really good card. And we have a Brave Neos just because, you know, we can make it, so why not? So this is the expensive version of the deck. Currently, because we don't have both the Armed Neos and Rainbow Neos fusion monsters, we don't really need a reason to play Neos. That's why I can just drop Neos entirely and just play Stratos. Stratos will be searching a copy of Liquid Soldier, and when you use it as a fusion material, you get to draw 2 and discard 1. That's really useful to dig through your deck to find non-engine like Valor and Eclipse. We have free emergency call to grab the Stratos, and yeah, that's pretty much it. We're also playing 1 copy of Armed Dragon Thunder level 10. This is a really good card going first. Pretty much the only thing you will be making going first is this card, and then you can use it to pop something. For the extra deck, it's pretty much identical, except we're playing triple Sunrise. Sunrise is just really good. If you have multiple on the field, it's a lot more difficult for your opponent to handle them, because even though the second effect of Sunrise is a hard once per turn, having multiple Sunrise just means that even if your opponent gets rid of one of them, the second one can still use the effect to pop something. So yeah, it's just hero stuff, I guess. Let's have a look at the replays. Okay, let's have a look at the replays. First game, we're going second. This deck is a lot better going second because of Super Poly. Even when going first, it's not too bad, I guess. It's a bit worse in the free-to-play version because we don't have the Armed Dragon, which is a pretty good card going first. But our opponent is also playing a deck that pretty much only does something going second. It's like the 10 pie of Duel Links, except because Duel Links is best of 1, it's not very good. It's funny. I like the concept, but Pendulum Rebellion OTK is just not a very good deck, I think. We're gonna go Super Poly, fuse away our opponent's monster, and make a monster of our own. We're gonna make a Sunrise. I'm expecting that to be a Widow Anchor or something, but it's not. It's an Ego Booster, I later found out, but they can't chain the Ego Booster to our Super Poly, that's why his monster is still gonna be removed. Our opponent will drop the Ritual. I don't know why they did it on the Sunrise. Because we can just swing in with the 4k guy and win anyway. Yeah, cool deck. Okay, second game, we're also going second. Hopefully our opponent won't be clicking yes every single time they see a prompt again. Our opponent is actually playing Harpies this time. They are playing a very interesting skill that gives them life points, and yeah, there goes the Harpy combo. Remember when this deck was good. Eotist will get them another Harpy, and that will be able to make a Cyber Slash. It's not the best opener for them because they didn't open with the one that discards 1 to summon from deck. So they're gonna end on, you know, Harpy, Cyber Slash plus a backward pass. We're gonna make a Neos on field, and we're gonna try to force out some interruption by using the Wrath of Neos that we have drawn. We're gonna activate Wrath of Neos, hoping that he will chain something to it. He's gonna chain Harpy Lady, that's fine. We'll let him bounce, it's fine. Because we can just fusion summon from hand anyway. And we'll do just that. We're gonna make Grand Merge, and because I don't see any delay, I'm not too worried about the back row. The only thing that's gonna lose us the game is exactly Drowning, but I doubt it is. So we're just gonna pop the monster instead. We're gonna make a copy of the Shining Flare Wingman, attack 2 times, and go for lethal. So turns out that set card is a bluff after all. And finally, the third and final game, we're playing the expensive version, and hopefully after this game can stop eating glue and play actual decks that I like playing. Speaking of, Dragunity is pretty interesting now. Dragunity Remus is a 1-card combo that gets you Crystal Wing, and it doesn't even use a normal summon, even though it does lock you from your extra deck. And I've been thinking about that a lot, because I can unsurprisingly chuck that in Crystons. Because not only does having a free Crystal Wing be very nice for Crystons as a synchro deck themselves, the free Dragon's Ravine on the field is a really good target for non-tuner Crystal monsters to just pop and get a free tuner from the deck. And because Crystons don't really care about being locked from dragon monsters from the extra deck, because you can just synchro summon during the opponent's turn anyway, I think it's a pretty good mix that I am heavily considering to be playing in the future. So Maybe in the future you'll see a video of me playing the Dragoonity package with Crystons, but first of all I need to get myself a third copy of Remus, because, you know, Remus is an ultra rare. I only got 2 copies currently, but I'm trying to get a third. Once I get a third, maybe I'll start playing. Oh yeah, I won. That's cool.